So it's my first week back after open nats. Really happy with the result, to be honest. We went into it pretty injured, not having deadlifted for like 3 or 4 weeks. So both me and my coach Alfred were like, I don't know what we can do. Let's just go. Hope we can do something. And it turns out, yeah, like hit 17 kilo total PB. That was 10 on my squat, 7 on my bench, and then we matched my deadlift because again, we just didn't know. I hadn't been able to test anything for ages. So full of painkillers, full of caffeine, and everything turned out right. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result. Came third. Knowing that there was kilo spares always handy because like next comp I can just take those. But on the topic of competitions, I'm coaching at 2 events this weekend. So the first one is on Saturday, which is the Northwest Open. I'm coaching Laura. She's just come down from the 76s to the 73, no, 69s to the 63s. She never like filled out the 69s, so it shouldn't be a difficult cut going into it. But her training's gone really well. Naturally, with coming down in body weight, it's a bit more difficult to gain strength, but I'd say her deadlift is in a very similar position to where it was, which is handy. But her bench has increased with the slight drop in body weight. She's able to get a little bit more elbow flexion, like bring that depth down. So I'm very confident for a PB for her there. And the squats have actually gotten a little bit stronger, and I think that's just a case of having trained them for longer. So that's going to be exciting on Saturday. And then on Sunday I also have Matt competing at the Northwest Open, but I can't attend because I'll be in the Southeast for their comp. So Matt's training's absolutely flying. His pec's been given out a little bit during training, so like that's making bench a bit hard to progress on, but squats are exactly where we need them to be. I can see him matching his best squat as a 105, if not hitting a PB, and then deadlifts, it's like he could pick up the world. It's ridiculous. His last comp, I believe he did 305. This is our first one together, but I handled him at his last one, so I think he did 305 at his last one, or at least he attempted it. And then this one, our heaviest pull in training has been 295, and it moved like a 6, 7. It was awesome to see. So that's going to be exciting to see what he can achieve. I'm sending someone over to handle him for me, which is always handy to have people when I can't be in 2 places at once. But where I will be is the Southeast comp, where I have 4 lifters. I have Jack in the morning, Diane and Rosh in the afternoon, and then towards the evening time I have Jasmine. An honourable mention is Jamie, who tried to enter the comp but couldn't get a space, which seems to be the case again. It was a while ago. It's starting to happen again, I think, with competitions in the UK. So volunteering is a great way to get a priority space, but also Super Training have a coaching pass, which I purchased, which gives my lifters priority access to their comps, which is really handy. So now all my lifters have definitely 3 or 4 comps a year that they can go to. It is in Super Training, which is like at the border of the Southwest, just below the West Midlands, but they aren't region locked, which is really helpful. So like anyone can go as long as you can travel and get there. But yes, Jack's training also pretty phenomenal off the back of his last comp. So he tried to go down to the 74s from 83. It's quite a big drop, and he was never a big, no, what am I saying? It was ill-advised from me. I didn't say he should do it. He decided. I was like, sure, well, I'll help you through it. But definitely he is too big of a person to be a 74. So now we did that comp. Then because he was trying to qualify for the Southern or Northern qualifier for Brits, which, you know, to have the competitive edge, you maybe have to play with your weight class. It didn't work out, unfortunately. So when we did compete at I think he did the he did the Southern qualifier, and as an 83, and it went a lot better. We totaled 500 again. It was more comfortable. wasn't perfect, but this comp, as we've now stayed 83, will be so much better. We had a little bit of a back niggle a few weeks ago, but that seems to be resolved. Even with the conservative attempt selection, I believe he's on for like all-time PBs, which is exciting. And then Roche took some time last year to be a 69. Again, never filled out the class, just didn't cut into the 63s. She's a masters lifter. She's looking to take some records actually. She went up last year to take records in the 69s because they were a bit lower, and now we are stronger. We're looking to take some 63 records. We should take the Southeast deadlift record as an M1, which I know she'll be very happy with. She also set the squat record as a 63 last time she was in that weight class, so I think it would be handy to take. No, I don't think she did. I think that was a 69. So yeah, as a 69 she took that squat record. We want to extend that PB as a 63, so get lighter and stronger. Rare, but definitely doable. And then her bench, I'd say we can definitely match her best as a 69. Again, at a lower body weight, you drop your bench usually drops, which it doesn't seem to have done. We've definitely maintained it. She's definitely a strong bencher. I've always found that when people go up a weight class, their bench rises. So the fact that she's come down and maintained it is, we couldn't really ask for much more. So no, I'm excited for that. She'll definitely be hitting PBs as a 63, qualifying for nationals, and then we can go to nationals. And who knows? It depends who shows up, but she could end up on the podium this year, which would be fantastic. And then Diane has had a diagnosis on her knee of a cyst, which has been causing her a lot of pain. So squats, we're looking to get a squat. We're not that fussed about what the weight is, but we know that she's going to be able to qualify for nationals regardless, as long as she gets a squat. And then we are going to push bench a bit more. Like, we're going to have fun with the competition. We're going to push bench. We're going to hit a PB there, most likely. And deadlifts have been continuing to stay pretty stable. But again, we're using this to qualify, so there is no risk once we've done that to load up something that she wants to attempt. And then we have Jasmine, which is her first competition, which is very exciting. Going to take her through all the stages, make sure she's comfortable. Her training, again, it's been mostly teaching her the standards, the commands, all the strange bits of powerlifting that once you've done it for a while, you don't really think about. You just do it, you just accept it. But for any new person coming in, it's very strange. So it's actually been quite fun to try and remember the things that are weird and letting her know, such as can't have your feet on the bench in British powerlifting when you set up. It's something that we just kind of accepted and do. For a new person coming into it, they don't know that. So had to introduce her to that. The different commands, because you've got squat and rack, you've got start, press and rack, and you've got down. So those are the three lifts. She loves to pause her squats, thinking there's an up command. There isn't. It's okay. So trying to get her out of that habit, making sure that she pauses long enough on bench, because naturally, why would you do that as someone who doesn't compete in powerlifting? You don't have to pause your bench. So again, introducing that standard. And then deadlifts are just not something that she's necessarily built for in terms of proportions and leverages. So she is flying along with it though, so happy enough with that. That's kind of it. That's just a little update for this week. I'm about to go training now. First session back after Nats, which I have bench, paused high bar squats, some belt squats. I think I've got chest supported rows, dips and side planks.